Hey, how's it going? Welcome to my glute focused workout. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do to get the best glute workout at TR Fitness Branson. To start off with glutes, we will not be doing very many isolated workouts that quote unquote focus on your glutes. Why? I don't like doing kickbacks because your glutes are a very big muscle. Arguably the second, if not the third largest muscle in your body. Basically, what I mean is you will use way more glute fibers on a leg press or a deadlift than if you're doing a glute kickback or a bodyweight glute bridge. And we want to use all the glute fibers we can to get the best results. Okay, starting off here. This is a box squat, a bodyweight box squat. Now, whatever fitness level you are at, I would like everyone to start here with just bodyweight box squats. We want to do 50 to 100 of these. That seems like a lot, but take your time, take your break if you need to after a few, and just get to 100. Now, the point of doing these here is to get your body focused on squeezing your glutes. Every time you sit down, you want to think about squeezing your glutes first and then standing back up. Now, this can be challenging right out of the gate for some of us in the beginning. So do not feel like you don't have to use a assist to get back up. You can always use a pole or a PVC pipe here, like I am demonstrating, or put your hands on your knees. Right after we get done with those box squats, we're going to superset walking lunges with back extensions. Now on these walking lunges, I want you to take them nice and slow and get a good stretch. Through the whole workout, we're not going to add any weight to our lunges, just focused on getting a good stretch on those glutes. The back extension machine can be kind of tough to get into, but you want to make sure that your hips are not touching the pad. You want the tops of your thighs over the pad so that we are going to get more glute recruitment as you come up. Now, only bodyweight lunges. You want to get a really good deep stretch. Now take your time to adjust the machine or to adjust your body to get into the machine. And if it feels funny in the middle of your workout, go ahead and reset. It's okay. Good stretch and a good squeeze on those glutes. Now the reason I do not want you using any extra weight on our walking lunges is because I want you to focus solely on stretching your glutes on every step. The more weight you add, the more our body has to focus on balancing the weight so we don't fall over left to right or side to side. And our main focus on doing lunges is to get a really good stretch on those glutes. Barbell hip thrusts. For the setup, we're going to definitely get that pad that goes around the barbell. Put a bench behind you. Put a good amount of weight on the bar, but you want to bring your feet in pretty close to your body. So when you're up in position, you want your heels to be right under your knees. You don't want to be out too far. As you can see, it takes a minute for me to really get in position to where I can feel it. Now the movement, you don't want to think about dropping your hips down. You want to drop your lower back. So think about dropping your lower back down, reaching to the bottom of the ground with your lower back first, and then coming up. You want to make a C curve with your back. Here, I'll demonstrate that a little more, what that looks like right here. You want to get a good pelvic tilt in. So you don't want to kick your hips back like you're doing a squat. You want to tuck them in, tuck your hips in, and it doesn't need to be a giant range of motion either. So here, tuck them in, and then up and down, dropping your lower back, getting a good squeeze on top. So we're not worried about a giant range of motion here. We're just worried about getting a good squeeze on top of those hip thrusts. And we're going to superset this with the lunges. I told you we're going to see those a lot. We're going to let the lunges get a good stretch on our glutes and let the hip thrusts recruit more muscle fibers by using a good amount of weight. So do not be afraid to use a good amount of weight here. That's why we're using the barbell rather than grabbing a lighter dumbbell. For example, it will be a lot easier to use 100 pounds on the barbell than to put a 100-pound dumbbell on your hips. Do not be scared to use more weight with these exercises. More weight doesn't make you bigger. Think of it like this. The more weight you use, the more energy you are exerting and the more calories you are burning. Some quick in and outs. These are little jump squats. If we can't do these, or that looks a little scary, you can just start with some wide body weight squats. I have you supersetting these jump squats with lat pull downs. Now, why are we doing lats if we are going to focus on glutes? We are warming up your back muscles because we're going to do Romanian deadlifts next. And your back muscles will help support your lower back and your spine to keep your body in a safe position while we do deadlifts. And the stronger your back is, the more weight you can deadlift and use to recruit more glute fibers. On the jump squats, you want to always remember to land very softly. Never lock out your knees. You want to catch the weight with your muscles, not your joints. Now on these pull downs, you want to use the handle I have here that's about shoulder width apart. And just think of it, we're warming up your back. We're just going to put some blood in there so it's ready to assist your glutes as we do deadlifts. Here we go. RDLs, Romanian deadlifts. This exercise can have some really, really awesome benefits, some great results. We're going to get core strength, overall fitness. It's great for your heart. We're going to be using a lot of weight, so you're going to be pumping a lot of blood with your heart. But our goal today is glutes. This one is one of my favorite exercises for developing some glutes and burning some calories. Okay, technique. We want to move extremely controlled. We want to let the weight go down as slow as possible. More than that, we want to think about pushing your hips back. And once your hips stop going back, that is as far down as you need to go. Because we do not want to bend your lower back like that. That's too far. We want to go full range of motion, but just for our glute development. We do not want to bend your lower back, right? Or hyperextend like I just did right there. We only need to go up almost 9/10 of the way. We don't want to lock out on the top. Almost lock out. We want to keep the tension on your muscles, right? We want to keep those muscles working. If you get to a point where you're using a lot of weight, which I hope everybody does, you will eventually get to a point where you need and want to use a belt to support your lower back. After all those deadlifts, we are going to stretch out your legs with 50 lunges. I would suggest doing as many as you can in a row until you get to 50. But take the breaks you need and get a nice good stretch. Don't rush through it. Next up, the leg press. On this exercise, we are going to want to use as much weight as you can safely. Okay. Again, with high reward, there's high risk. You want to let the weight down in a nice controlled manner, very slow, for more than one reason. We're going to go pretty slow because we want to protect our lower back. And the slower you go down, the more your muscles have to work, right? We want to fight gravity both directions, down and up. So down as slow as you can, and then you want to come up in a nice strong pace and not locking out your knees. We don't want to lock your knees out. 2 reasons. It's going to let your muscles rest, and it's not good for your knees. Okay, so on technique here still, we've got not locking out on your knees, letting the weight down in a nice controlled pace. And next, we want to make sure that you keep your lower back flat. So as you push up with your legs, as you push up through your heels and your toes at the same time, you want to make sure that you press your lower back down into the mat. Okay? Almost think of boxing out in basketball. If you've ever played basketball before, you're going to push your hips back just like that. Now, foot placement on here is a important factor. A lot of influencers on social media are going to tell you where to put your feet to target which muscle groups. Okay, I'm gonna blow that out of the water right there. That's a myth. Okay, you want to use as much weight as possible to burn the most calories or build muscle. So you want to put your feet at a position that you are strongest, that your body feels the strongest and the safest to push more weight. Most of us, that's on this machine, it's going to be almost out to the outside, a little wider than shoulder width, and your toes kicked out just a little bit. Trust me on this one. Trust me on this one. You want to put your feet in a place where you can push more weight. Last but not least, our adductors. Okay, like I said, our glutes are big muscles, right? Some of the biggest muscles we have in our body. Our adductors are not. Misconception here, this machine is focusing on your adductors. Now your glutes also help in this motion, right? But the main muscle worked here are your adductors. Now they're very small and they will help your hips and glutes look better. Now that being said, we want to use those muscles, your adductors, to their best ability. So these little guys are very high fatigue resistant. What does that mean here for us? That means that we need to use these muscles for a long time to get the best benefit out of them. So we're not going to count reps. We're going to get on this machine and set a timer for 60 seconds. Now that's just starting off. We're going to do 3 or 4 sets of 60 seconds, working your way up to 5 minutes at a time. I know that sounds crazy. Trust me. Put on a song for a minute and just go. So in between each set here, we're going to stretch those guys out again with walking lunges. If you have any requests or questions, you can message me on here or email me, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, however we are connected. Shoot me a message. Remember, you are stronger than you think you are. Now go get it.